So here's part of the conversation, part of this presentation, where we talk about self-funding the cost of long-term care. But before we do, let me explain something to you, share with you what happened to me about 10 years ago. It was 2008, and I think we all remember what a tough time that was when the housing bubble popped, when the economy was upside down. A lady came into my office and she said, Jeff, I don't know what you can do for me. I retired back in March, and this lady was like 67, I think, 66 or 67. And she said, I retired back in March. I saved up about $500,000, okay, through our retirement savings at work. And just last week, I was looking at my statement and my September statement, and it said that I had only $265,000 in the account. I think that's what she said. So it almost busted in half. This it dropped in half. This retirement savings of hers. She said, "I needed that money to live on. I didn't want to take Social Security till I was 70. Okay, um, I needed a certain amount of money to live on for the rest of my life, so I wanted to run out. Is basically what was it encompassing. There, I can't go back to work. I can't. Who's going to hire somebody that's? And she worked at a container factory. I guess she built containers or something. She was on the factory floor. She said, Jeff, they're not even hiring people. They're actually laying off. So there's no way I can even go back there. They've cut my check. I'm done and dusted. And all I wanted to do with that money was to live the rest of my life and visit my grandchildren. If I could just travel and visit them, I didn't care. It was just that's all I wanted. But what can I do now? And I was thinking about it, and there's really not a whole lot she can do except go get another job, right? And like she said, who's going to hire somebody with those job skills? And that later in life, it's the market kind of for employment kind of shrunk for her dramatically, and I I think about that story every time I sit down with somebody, even if we're been in a relationship for a long time and we're working on their on their goals and their plan and their investments, and or even when I'm just meeting somebody face to face for the first time. I carry that meeting with me all the time because this is what's going to happen, or it can't happen. It happened to her, and you know what? I didn't have an answer for her. I really didn't have anything that was she could go back and say, "Oh, thank goodness I got to talk to Jeff." There was no hero here, and to this day, I still feel that. It's just it's nothing I could have done. Um, so think about this. So we're going to talk about self-funding assisted care, long-term care, the expense, the expense of it when it's time. Well, think about this that scenario. You have X amount of dollars that you're going to put away. You might have invested in the market. It might be however you have it set up, whatever we decide is the best way. And we made it grow. Now it's time to take that money because we have a long-term care hit, right? But it kind of gets worse here. I don't like painting these horrible pictures, but we always have to think of worst case scenario, don't we? So I have this pot of money I'm going to use. I let's just say my monthly expense is $3,000 right now before I tap into it for long term care. So my budget not only went from $3,000 a month, now it might be 4,000, 5,000, even $6,000 a month, probably more even by that time. And we had a portfolio that dipped half, even if it dipped 30%. So we're going to spend twice as much a month, twice as much as a month to live on with half as much money. When we make plans, we have to think of worst case scenario, and that's why we had to have other strategies in place when life happens like this. What is it that John Lennon said? life is what happens when we're busy making plans.